Thank you, everybody. Clerk, please call the roll.
Pagano. Parson. Siam. Harris. Jones. Egan. Caputa.
Here.
Shildroth. Hanky.
Next item on agenda, approval of minutes. Are there any corrections, additions to the meeting and executive meetings of December 10th, 2018?
Sorry,
It's
that's January 14th.
totally wrong.
January 14th.
Meeting minutes of January 14th meeting. Hearing none. Mr. Shildroth moves to approve the minutes, second by Mr. Hinkie. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Minutes are approved. Next item is hearing from citizens. The next item, this is the time to speak in the council of any issues not necessarily on the agenda for 3 minutes. This is not a question and answer period. If you would like to speak to a council member or the mayor, please stay until after the meeting is over and we will speak with you. If you're speaking on the public hearing, which we have one tonight, please wait and have your comments after the public hearing. Connie Hart.
Good evening, Mayor Snyder and council members and community. My name is Connie Harch from the Board of Education. I live in Florissant, Missouri. And I just want to let you know that the MSBA, Missouri School Board Association, is bringing out again House Bill 361. This bill would make school members, instead of having 3 years for election or term, it would be 4 years, and the election would be in November versus April. So they're going to discuss this Wednesday. They're bringing it out again, and we're going to see if this will pass. Also, there is a state of address, proposed state of address for the district, Monday, February 4th, from 6 to 7 by Dr. Joe Davis. Is going to be on our restructuring period, and we'd like to invite you all to come. And it's at the Ferguson Community Center on Smith Avenue. And you can get a ticket off the Facebook or on fergfloor.org. But if you don't have a ticket, I have some with me. And if you still don't have a ticket, we'll let you in anyway. It's a free, it's a free event. So we'd like you to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you. Next item is communications, which we have none. Next item is public hearings. Public hearing number 1901001.
In accordance with Section 405-310 of the Florissant Zoning Code, a public hearing will be held by the City Council of Florissant, Missouri, in the council chambers at 955 Rue St. Francois on Monday, January 28, 2019, at 7:30 p.m. on the following proposition: to authorize an amendment to special use permit number 7775 to allow for removal of the requirement to construct a parking lot for the property located at 2 Menke Place. Citizens will have an opportunity to be heard. Anyone with special needs should contact the city clerk at least 5 days for said public hearing by calling 839-7600 or TDD 839-5142.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Is the petitioner present, please? Yes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Alok Arora. This is my father, Ashok Arora.
Can you step a little closer to the mic? Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
All right, you guys have the floor, and you explain to us your proposal, what you want to do.
Basically,
Step to the mic, sir.
yeah. The whole request is to remove the parking lot, which was first intended to use, but as the time has prevailed, the economic conditions are not allowing us to be able to pursue that plan. And also, we had a lot of catastrophe on that area of interest, a lot of vandalism, many of them, so that has put us a little setback on as well.
So remove the parking lot that you have now?
We have a parking lot, yes.
That's the smaller one, correct?
Yes.
Holds about 10 vehicles?
Well, yeah, about 10 to 12, yes.
So where all that grass is, where the old, that's the
area of interest which we were thinking down the road that is possibility, but at this point I don't see it.
Mr. Hinkie.
Yeah, good evening. I spoke with you on the phone.
How are you, sir?
For clarification, so I was back there again today looking at it. You're talking about removing the lot there, or what you're saying is you're not going to build an additional lot there where the batting cages were?
Yes, sir.
So this whole hearing is to not build the lot there because you don't intend to use that as a car lot?
Yes, sir.
Just for clarification?
Yes, sir.
See, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hinkie.
Thank you, all of you.
Before we close the public hearing, is there anyone in the audience who would like to comment on this public hearing? Seeing none. Councilman Hinkie moves to close the public hearing, second by myself. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried. Public hearing is closed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is old business. First item in old business is bills for a second reading. Mr. Shuldroff.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to move to postpone this second reading to our next meeting, which is on February 11th.
Okay, there's a motion to move or to postpone this to the next council meeting by Mr. Shuldroff, second by Mr. Regan. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Next item is new business. Board appointments. Mr. Parson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to reappoint Deborah Bryant to the Citizens Participation Committee.
Second by Ms. Pagano. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Parson.
Thank you.
Mayor Schneider.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to appoint the following individuals to the Youth Advisory Commission. From Ward 4, Alyssa Johnson, and from Ward 6, Lindsay Clemens.
Councilman Shuldroff moves for approval, second by Mr. Regan. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Appointment is made.
And I'd like to appoint the following individuals to the Environmental Quality Commission. From Ward 9, Craig Andert. From Ward 7, Ron Williams. And from Ward 5, Tony Maldonado. These will be reappointments, actually.
Councilman Shuldroff moves for approval, second by Ms. Pagano. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next item is requests. Councilman Shuldroff moves to accept the application to transfer special use permit number 8206 from Show Me's Barbecue to Man Meats for the operation of a carry-out restaurant located at 300 St. Ferdinand. Second by myself. Mr. Shuldroff.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before we vote at this time, I would like to make a motion to move to suspend the rules to have the petitioner come up and tell us about his business.
Got a motion to suspend the rules, second by Mr. Regan. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Shuldroff.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. What do you?
Please tell us your name and
My name's Bob Manicki. My wife Holly's back there sitting with us. We work together. I've been doing this for about a year. I've been cooking for a very long time. It's been a dream of mine to have a food truck. It's taken off in the last year, done very well. I was presented the opportunity a few weeks ago to have this building on St. Ferdinand, and I'm just rolling with it. You know, I'm looking forward to it. I wanted to cook you guys a brisket today, but I've been so busy working on the building that I didn't have the chance.
Darn.
Yeah, I've seen your food trucks around a couple
upsetting.
times
Yeah.
on different food truck night here in Florissant and other places.
Yeah,
So,
we did the Florissant food trucks last year once. We did a lot of stuff in the city. Looking forward to it.
Good. Mr. Shuldroff.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had the opportunity to go by Sunday and talked to Bob, and I talked to him a couple times on the phone, and it went by, and he's really bought into the property. He's doing a lot of renovations inside, and his wife needs to be commended. She was even helping him hang some drywall and get rid of putting some insulation up where it had been taken out. So he's done some work on the counter, and it looks really nice in there. And I think he's going to do really well there. I've got some reports on how his product is from different people at the food truck nights, and I welcome him to Florissant, and I'm glad he picked Florissant. I'm glad he picked Ward 5, and I think it's going to be a nice addition to our city. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Shuldroff. Mr. Egan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to welcome you to Florissant, and we're real excited about this, and I hope that you're able to make a great run of it down there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Egan. Mr. Shuldroff moves to accept it, second by Mr. Egan. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Application is accepted.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you.
Next item. On the request, Councilman Hinkie moves to accept the application to transfer special use permit number 1713 and 5417 from Charlie B. Wilson, doing business as Bill's Auto Repair, to Marius Enterprise LLC, doing business as Palmer Premier Auto, for the location and operation of an auto repair business with signage at 575 North New Florissant Road. Second by Mr. Jones. All in favor?
Suspend the rules.
Mr. Hinkie.
Yes, I move to suspend the rules and ask Mr. Palmer to come forward.
Second, motion is made to suspend the rules, second by Mr. Shuldroff. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Palmer, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening to everyone.
Good evening, Mr. Palmer. We've spoke on the phone a couple times,
Yes,
and
sir.
when I talked to you, I said you'd come forward and try to explain to the council a couple of the things that we have discussed on the phone. One of my concerns was cars. That's been a repair shop for many years, okay?
Yes, sir.
I have no problem with it. That's great. A couple of things we discussed today. I've had problems with other ones in my ward where cars sit out there. They don't claim them, or they're sitting. You assured me that would not be a problem. But one of the things that I am bringing forward, we talked about the used tires sales. I'm going to move for an amendment here to this ordinance to restrict the sale of used tires to 10% of the total tires sold on this location. After speaking with you today, it didn't sound like that would be a problem, but this is something we're viewing forward in our city, what we're looking at. So if there's anything else you wish to add to that, I just wanted to clarify that I spoke with you so that the rest of the council knows what's going on here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I have a question, Mr. Palmer. Mr. Hinkie was saying about the cars sitting around in your lot prior to after you say you fix them or whatever. Now, how long do you plan on, say, waiting if you do have a car and a customer did not pick it up, or?
Well, two days afterwards, we will start a
2 days.
process of, yes, where you have to pay. So after 30 days, then we will apply for the title to that vehicle.
Okay. Remember me.
Thank you, sir. What else? All right, Mr. Palmer, thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
Not until we get to the ordinance. So now we need to just.
Okay, next item on the.
You never did actually accept the.
Nope. Mr. Hinkie moved to accept it, second by Ms. Pagano. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Application is accepted. Next item is bills for a first reading. Bill number 9467.
Ordinance amending special use permit number 6530 granted to Asher Rora to allow for car sales on the property located at number 2 Menke Place.
Bill number 9468.
Ordinance to authorize a transfer of special use permit number 8206 from Show Me Barbecue to Man Meats for the operation and carry-out restaurant located at 300 St. Ferdinand.
Mr. Shuldroff moves for a second reading, second by Mr. Egan. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All any opposed? Ayes have it.
Ordinance authorizing a transfer of special use permit number 8206 from Show Me Barbecue to Man Meats for the operation of a carry-out restaurant located at 300 St. Ferdinand.
Councilman Shuldroff moves for a third reading, second by Mr. Hinkie. Roll call, please.
Pagano? Yes. Parson? Yes. Siam? Yes. Harris? Yes. Jones? Yes. Egan? Yes. Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth? Yes. Hanky?
Yes.
Ordinance authorizing a transfer of special use permit number 8206 from Show Me Barbecue to Man Meats for the operation of a carry-out restaurant located at 300 St. Ferdinand.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone on this that would like to speak on this bill? Seeing none. Clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano? Yes. Parson? Yes. Siam? Yes. Harris? Yes. Jones? Yes. Egan? Yes. Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
Hanky?
Yes.
Sorry.
Bill 9468 passes and becomes ordinance 8489.
Thank you.
Bill number 9469.
Ordinance authorizing a transfer of special use permit numbers 1713 and 5417 from Charles B. Wilson, DBA Bill's Auto Repair, to Marius Enterprises, LLC, DBA Palmer Premier Auto, for the location and operation of auto repair business with signage at 575 New Florissant Road. If you would like to, yes. So you need to make a motion to put it on the floor. Or you could put the amendment on next time. Okay. I can do it as a substitute.
Mr. Hinkie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll do it as a substitute at the next meeting.
We'll do it as a substitute bill and add the 10% tire thing. Next meeting then?
Okay, we're good.
I actually heard two, if I may, Mr. President, I heard two comments. One was limiting the sales of used tires not to exceed 10% of the total tires sold during any calendar year, and then there was some comment also about cars being being stored outdoors. Does the majority of the council want that condition added as well, that they would not be stored outdoors for longer than, I thought I heard, 2 days?
No, I don't think it was.
It was 2 days or 30 days. Can you come up, Ms. Palmer, please? And I move to suspend the rules. Second by Mr. Egan. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
I guess, I'm sorry. I guess he misunderstood me. Once the car is done, the work is being done on the car. Give the customer 2 days to come in and pay for their vehicle. After 2 days, we start the process of charging them fees for the car sitting there. After 30 days, we would apply for the title to that car. After 30 days.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the customer notified the car is ready. You got
Yes,
2
sir.
days to pick it up, then you start charging storage, basically, for
Yes.
30 days. If they don't pick-
Unless something otherwise is some other
arrangements are made, which I understand.
Exactly.
Life goes on, life happens.
I mean, people have
Right.
issues, so
I understand. But after 30 days, you apply for the title. Well, what we're discussing, I understand all of that. Where is the car during this whole process?
Well, it's 20 spots inside for the cars to be stored.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what the lot is.
Well, as long as we're on the same page on intent here, and John, you can help with this. As long as we're on the intent of this is buildings right across straight here in the heart of Old Town.
Right.
Right in the corner. We just don't want cars sitting out there for
Looking
6
bad.
weeks. You're looking bad sitting out there in the heart of Old Town. And we discussed that today. So customer has 2 days unless that something happens to pick it up. You'll start charging storage after the second day. In 30 days, you'll apply for the title. My concern is where is the car during this process? I understand the car be sitting out there for 3 days or 4 days. After that, where's the car?
Where's the car? I mean, we could have to set up something. I wasn't aware that was going to be an issue.
Right.
With the cars sitting there with the customers. Mostly we try to get cars in and out. So that really shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, John, for the sake of this, perhaps we could put in there, under no circumstances will a car, the same vehicle, be parked outside for more than 30 days? Something along that lines where.
Something, I mean, we have to,
Right.
we don't, I mean, we never know what we run into.
Right,
It's a
right.
business, so I mean,
But-
if someone can't pay for their car.
I'm not
really,
trying to make this
I
any
would-
more onerous on you than need be, but I'm trying to protect us too as far as, so
Yeah, I
if a
understand.
car's
I
out
really don't
there.
want to take anybody's car just because they can't pay. Anything
get
could
it.
happen where they're waiting on money.
I'm not, and I don't want that to happen either, but I
Yes.
don't want a car sitting out there in that corner for 6 months either.
Say that again.
I don't want a car sitting out on that corner there for 6 months either.
Yeah, I don't
So
either.
we may add something here to the effect that no customer's car, we sit on that lot, we'll work on the language, John, for longer, under no circumstances for a period of longer than 30 days.
Correct.
So a customer's
I can do
car
that.
won't sit out there for more than 30 days. That seems reasonable to me.
Seems fine.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Hinkie. Mr. Parson.
Palmer, if, I still have another question. Mr. Palmer,
Oh, come on back.
if you can, please come back.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. What I thought I heard you say is that you're not applying for the title until the 30-day mark, right?
Yeah, I can't just take a car. That's illegal.
So if we restricted
have
you
to,
to 30
we have
days,
to
it
be
wouldn't.
realistic and give people time to pay for their vehicle. So
Right.
I was never sure. I've owned an auto shop for the last 22 years in St. Louis City. So I was never aware of that. It was in Midtown. So I was never aware. I was right down the street from the Fox Theater on Washington on the main street. And I was never aware of anything like that. But things change in different municipalities. I understand that.
So ultimately, 30 days wouldn't be enough time for you to actually get title. How do you go about the process
You
of
have to
getting
file.
title?
You have to file for a mechanics lien on the title.
Mechanics lien.
Yes,
Okay.
you have to put a mechanics lien. I'm assuming after 30 days, the person doesn't want that car. But
So after you file that mechanics lien, then
it takes another 30 days.
Another 30 days. So realistically, you're looking more like maybe 60 plus days.
Right.
So 30 days wouldn't be enough time.
Yeah, thank you for pointing
Okay.
that out.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parson. Mr. Egan.
Mr. Palmer, I just want to make sure that you will be posting down there your intent to file mechanics lien after so many
Yes,
days.
I have signage for all of these things that will be posted in the lobby.
All right, thank you.
I'm saying all arrangements have to be made before even the cars. This thing, we have paperwork where they have to sign, so they sign everything. So it's all legal binding documents.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Egan. Mr. Hinkie.
Yeah, Mr. Palmer, perhaps, hopefully, it's the exception. Hopefully, it never happens, okay?
You never know.
But the 30-day time frame, my concern, like I said, I'm not heartless, but my concern is the appearance of a car sitting out there. So, in deference to Mr. Parsons here, I understand the process may take longer, but after 30 days, that car's going to be put inside or somewhere else after the 30
We have
days.
to move it. That's what I was
Right.
explaining. We have to
Right.
move it or make arrangements with a lot somewhere to
Okay.
to put the car.
Right.
I mean, I don't want cars to sit on a lot either.
No.
It
So hopefully this
it deters
never
me from
happens.
getting business in. If the place looks full,
Right.
then people don't stop and spend money.
So hopefully this never happens, but I'm just in response to Mr. Parsons' question here, I understand that. I don't want to extend the time any longer than the 30, because maybe this will never happen. I hope it doesn't ever happen for the owners of the car and for you and for us here in Ward 6. So the 30 days is, I think, a reasonable amount of time.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep, good luck, sir.
We're done.
You're good.
Thank you.
Next item is bill number 9470.
Ordinance amending section 125065A, job classification and grade level by amending certain grade levels. No, that was the other one. Something different. No, this is a different one.
Next item is council announcement.
Okay.
Mr. Egan.
Why, thank you very much, Mr. President. I just want to remind everyone that we're a little more than a month away from the St. Ferdinand Barbecue and Basketball Tournament. Our recipient this year is a Ward 3 resident, Elijah Paul, the Paul family. Elijah was born premature and has had a whole slew of health issues. He's hanging in there. We ask for your prayers every day for his family. And we will start off March 2nd with a day of barbecue and baskets and indoor fun, and then we start the games on the 3rd of March. If you want to donate, get a hold of me. If you want to sponsor a banner in the gym, you can do that also. Get a hold of me. Secondly, and I know that I'm taking some thunder from other council people on this, but it seems like I've noticed last couple of months there's been some incidences with handguns. And I'm sick and tired of hearing Mr. Caputa tell people lock up their handguns, and people still don't do it. We still lose handguns, and those handguns inevitably end up in the hands of people who are not either capable or responsible or have no idea of the consequences when they have a handgun. I'm a big supporter of the Second Amendment, but I'm sick and tired of hearing guns getting taken out of unlocked cars and guns being stolen from cars. If you're going to own a gun, be responsible and take care of your gun and keep it secure. I'm sorry about that, Mr. Caputa. I know you harp on that, but this is becoming an epidemic, not only in our city, but cities all around the city of St. Louis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Egan. Mr. Hinkie.
Yeah, we're facing probably in the next few days some of the coldest weather of the season, maybe of several seasons. Keep an eye on your neighbors, especially if they're elderly neighbors. Keep a close eye on them because there's cold weather and there's dangerous weather. We're coming ahead into some dangerous weather here, so keep an eye on each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hinkie. Mr. Jones.
Yes, I got a ward meeting coming up on February 6th at the JFK. I hope you can participate. Please slow down on Lindsay Lane. They have been giving out tickets, and I hope you're not one of the ones that gets one. Also, team, our food pantry, always needs volunteers, always needs money, always needs canned goods. Please keep them in mind. You guys, there's always somebody hungry morning, noon, or night. And our food pantry is a very important staple of this city, so please keep them in mind. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Yes, and with me saying about these firearms and guns, I'm going to keep on saying this until I'm not elected no more, or I don't sit up on this dais. If I have one pistol, one rifle, one firearm that somebody locks up and it's saved and it's not on the street, that means we're doing something. So I will continue to say this. If you're a firearm owner, be a responsible firearm owner and lock your weapons up. Lock your firearms up. Do not leave them in your vehicle. Be a responsible firearm owner. If you can't do that, you shouldn't own one. And next thing, if you're in a neighborhood watch, make sure you join your neighborhood watch. If you're not a member of it now, it's a very good program the city has. Make sure you get involved. A safe community is a strong community. And what Mr. Hinkie said about the cold weather coming in, going to be very dangerously cold out there. Make sure you check on your elders, keep your pets, let them outside, let them do their thing, make sure you bring them back in. So it's going to be dangerously cold. This cold can kill you. So be careful out there. Thank you. Mayor Schneider.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to congratulate the Friends of Old St. Ferdinand Shrine. They had a very successful fundraiser for our beloved shrine yesterday at Norwood, and this is they had an extra thing to celebrate. The 2019 is the 200th anniversary of the arrival of St. Rose Philippine Deschen to our community, and as you know, she had a very unique and special friendship with the great Jesuit pioneer with the Native Americans, Peter de Smet. And those two famous citizens, she told Father de Smet that she loved our valley because it had the quality of hospitality, and it still serves us very well. I also want to note the passing of Hal Schuchman. Hal Schuchman was a council member in Florissant. He was on the council when the City Hall was dedicated. He advocated for this current City Hall and also our two community centers. He was on the council for 12 years, from 63 to 75. And he also was on the Board of Freeholders. So those of you who are here in the audience, as you're leaving the building, if you'll look at the two plaques right before you enter this floor, exit this floor, you'll see a plaque dedicating City Hall. Hal Schuckman's name is on that. And then he's also was on the other plaque, which honors those that worked on the board of freeholders for our current charter. Hal, after he left Florissant, relocated in another part of town. He was honored by Creve Coeur for his Chamber of Commerce efforts, and he also was honored in Town and Country. He was elected alderman and eventually also became mayor of Town and Country, so he had a life of community service. This next month, on February 10th, we're going to honor First Lieutenant Eugene Ulrich. He was a World War II navigator, First Lieutenant, and he's going to be 100 years old on February 7th. And so it's a great honor to be able to honor a centennial who is also a World War II 50 missions, and then he trained pilots in southern cities for the final assault on the Axis powers. Just a reminder, if we do get some more snow, we did have a few snowmen at the last storm, and so if you have a snowman that you want to enter into the snowman building contest, take a picture of it and send it in to City Hall. Just to save the date, March 9th is going to be the Valley Industries Mayor's Ball. That'll be at the same location on Parker Road in Blackjack. And so just mark the date. We'll make some more announcements about that. On a serious note, you probably will see in the news that there's discussions of some petitions, signature petitions. There'll be a battle of the petitions. We have Better Together are going to try to collect 160,000 signatures so that the state of Missouri will have a vote in November of 2020. And their stated goal, one of their goals, very clearly, if you listen to their announcements, is to eliminate the Florissant Police Department and all the other police departments in metropolitan St. Louis County. Replace it with one big police department. I think that's probably my biggest problem with this proposal. The good news is, I think, is that the Municipal League of Metropolitan St. Louis met last week, and I want to congratulate Pat Kelly for resurrecting an idea that's in this Constitution of our state to form a board of freeholders by a different petition. That petition would only be in St. Louis and in St. Louis County. And so that requires 15,000 signatures in St. Louis County and 5,000 signatures in the city. That petition drive will start very soon. There's going to be some informational classes for those that want to help us in early February. I'll get more information to you on that. That will form a board of freeholders of 19 people. 9 of them will be appointed by the county executive. 9 of them will be appointed by the mayor of St. Louis. Unfortunately, both of those individuals are in favor of the Better Together initiative. However, it'll be an open public process instead of just having these 5 individuals that came to this conclusion of what we're going to do, 4 of which are not even from St. Louis. So we're hoping that St. Louisans, St. Louis County and St. Louis City residents can gather together, and one final member of that board will be appointed by the governor of Missouri. So it'll be a 19-person board, and it's already, there's provisions for it in the Constitution of the state. We think that the discussion should be an open one, and it should be a discussion held by St. Louis County residents and voted on, St. Louis County and St. Louis City, and voted on by St. Louis County and St. Louis City. This was an unusual vote that we had last week. The House was packed. Council President Caputa was there. Council Vice President Jones was there. Myself was there. Elliot Davis was there. A lot of press members were there. Almost every municipality in St. Louis County were represented. The vote to do this was unanimous. That hardly ever happens. So stay tuned. Thanks.
thank you, Mayor. Mr. Hinkie.
Mayor, I'd like to just add one more thing to that, just on that note. I find it astounding that they want to put a petition forward that will allow the residents of throughout the state of Missouri to vote and determine our governance, yet in no way they will still have their own vote in their own local communities to determine their governance. So all of outstate can determine our governance, yet we have no say over their own. We can't have it, and I think it's absurd to think that throughout the rest of the state, they can tell us what we need to do in our own backyard, but it doesn't involve their backyards.
Thank you, Mr. Hinkie. I do remember, when was it, Ms. Goodwin?
February 20.
October,
What?
October 17, the council passed a resolution
Oh, yes.
that we were unanimously passed a resolution that we were against the merger and against the statewide vote of it also. The next regular meeting for the city council will be on Monday, February 11th, 2019. Mr. Egan moves to adjourn the regular meeting, second by Mr. Harris. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.